Welcome to the February 8th Commissioner meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we've approved the minutes from the 25th of January meeting. We've approved the accounts payable vouchers and the payroll docket. I'll entertain a motion to do.
Motion to approve those three items as submitted.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye. Where's Rick going? Is he first? Or is he second?
It's up to you.
It's up to me.
He said he'd be short.
He'd be short. Yeah, but he's got Pam sitting behind him. If I say Pam, you're gonna be, huh? Oh, okay. So Rick, we're gonna let you go. They're gonna be short?
You're welcome, Rick.
Bringing.
Oh, no.
Okay, he's coming to
He
sit down.
lied.
You're gonna change your mind? Still gonna say? Work comp policies renewal. Give you one. And on this, on the second page is showing the, actually based off the payroll. So what they've done is on the last page, to get that payroll, they took your last audit and bumped it 3%. Payroll went up like 1.1 million, which made the actual premium come in at 144,471. And then you multiply your experience mod, which your experience mod is very good at 0.18, which gives you a 19% discount, which brings it down to 117,022. And then they threw in another 5% down where it says 0.85, it was 0.90, brought it to 0.85, which brings your premium at total of 99,469. Which last year was running 9252, but when you look at your experience mod going down from 0.84 to 0.81 and your another 5% discount they threw in, your rate is actually lower, but with your payroll being higher, it went up. So just doing a renewal on that. I mean, you've done your experience mod's running great, which I hate to talk about, but I mean, back in 2013, your premium was 164,000. So your payroll was probably a lot lower than what it is now. So your experience mod's doing great. What is the experience? What's it? Experience mod is based off your losses, your claims on work comp and so I don't know whether Diane's will hit on there or not. Which could be blow it out of the water possibly next year. So good news and bad news.
Yeah.
With the policy, this is the actual policy, which I don't know who wants it. Heather White, you want to take it to Heather or you want to drop it off in the morning?
I think so.
Okay. Which in here is just normal, the management risk services they provide. Their reporting procedures, which she knows all that. I mean, we've been with the same company since the 90s on this. How they want the claims turned in immediately as soon as possible. Claim forms in here and everything like that. And then invoice for that. Then I also have the accident and sickness policy for the reserve officers for the sheriff's office, which that's running $519 a year on that. I don't know whether you want me to give that to you or I can drop. I got a loss control visit set up with Travelers to tour the jail Thursday next week, so I can drop it off up there Thursday if you want me to do that, and I just leave the invoice. Do that. He's swimming down to do. He said it takes about 2.5 hours to go through procedures and everything up there, so we'll be up there Thursday. And there's those two. I guess we just need an okay on that. And I'll drop this off to Ben unless you have other questions. Like I said, the experience mod and everything, the rates this year on the work comp are a lot lower, so. I mean, your rate's higher, but your premium's higher, but your rates are lower.
Payroll goes up.
Yeah, and they base that, they usually do a 3% bump and they just took it off the last audit rather than, so. Rather than us trying to come up with a figure or payroll, that's what they do. Because they actually audit it every year and do the adjustments.
Entertain the motion to,
I'll make a motion to accept the workers' compensation and employee liability subscribed coverage from Indiana Public Employers Plan, Carmel, Indiana, for the sum of $99,469.
any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
You want to do a separate one on the sickness or do you include it on the other policy? Accident and sickness did you include that in there?
Yeah.
I guess. There's one on the accident and sickness for the
Reserve.
reserve officers too, which
Is
is,
that all in that?
it's a separate policy.
Okay, I guess we'll do it.
Yeah.
For $519.
And also include one for the sheriff's officer. right?
Yeah, it's for the reserve officers.
Is there a vote?
$519.
$519.
Second that. Okay. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye.
All right.
Anything signed or
Thank
just-
you. What time's here? Next Thursday?
Scheduled at 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Okay.
Ben's supposed to be there and I think the other guy from Travelers coming out of Louisville, so. And he said that about 2.5 hours to go for everything. I think he'll just want to do a tour and then and probably have a lot of questions for him as far as procedures and things like that.
Thanks, Rick.
thanks.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
sure, I was
All right.
just wait till you finish talking before I interrupted. Do you want to stand and sit or?
I'll sit, but I'm gonna pass out a couple of things to you first. All right. Just wanted to give these to you. Let's make sure, I think there's two here. I think I'm gonna have everyone. And then, also. What this is, Jefferson County, the government, already has a relationship with First Financial Bank. And upon that relationship that you already have with the bank, we can offer with the commissioner's approval. I've already spoken with individuals within the courthouse. I spoke with Heather last week. Well, I spoke with everybody in the office, Heather and Megan. We can offer the employees, in Jefferson County, a checking account relationship where they have a direct deposit with the bank. And after 90 days of direct deposit relationship with the bank, First Financial will put a deposit into their account of $100. Just for having a checking account relationship with the bank. So that's the benefit. The benefit of having a relationship, Jefferson County and then a relationship with the bank. The bank gives the employee $100. The bank will be willing to go to the site, the courthouse. We will go to the county highway. We'll go to the health department. We can go to the sheriff's department. We can set up times that are beneficial to each one of these departments to open up these accounts. What also happens through this performance checking account it's available to all the employees of Jefferson County. This account we can do financial literacy classes, financial well-being classes. If they were to have a relationship, a mortgage, they would open up, they get discounts on mortgages, reduction in closing costs and mortgages. If they would have a line of credit on their home equity line of credit, there's no annual fee. There's discount rates on loans on auto loans, home equity loans. On their performance checking account, they get the benefit of having, interest-bearing checking accounts. So there's a whole gamut of, products that we give them with that. So there's a whole package. So I put them out there for you to see just by having that relationship with the First Financial. So there's nothing that you have to do other than giving me the permission to have this relationship. And I set up a code that they will have, a work life code that they will have if they miss that opportunity where we come in and open the account on those specific days. If they can't make it, they can come to us and have this work life code. I have a flyer and I can write the work life code in and they could come in and see us and we can have that relationship with them. So any onboarding that you have with a new employee, that they can get that. So with your permission, that's all we need. So there's my little presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot away, ask away. Credit counseling, whatever they need. Almost turned.
Free's always a good word. isn't it?
Oh, it is, it is.
This only employs, is it elected officials too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm. Yep, elected officials as well.
Some of them don't hit you.
Well, you get a directive, anyone that receives a direct deposit from Jefferson
Gotcha.
County, so it's employees, elected officials, and so they don't have, here's a question that I'm asked, do they have to have the full, can they have a direct deposit only with First Financial? No. So, their paycheck can be divided up between, financial institutions. So we don't have to be, we would love to be
So,
their primary institution. That's what we're trying to do, is to win that relationship and be their trusted advisor. But we certainly understand if they have to have another institution where they have their depository account. But we would like to win it all, but baby steps, right? So it's just that first 90 days, and then that's when we deposit that, make that deposit into that account. Because the county has so many county employees, that what qualifies for that $100 deposit. So just let me know.
Okay.
When you give me your approval, I'll go ahead and set that code up, and then I can get with each department head and schedule a time to go in and have several staff members go in and open up,
Okay.
set a time to go in and open up those accounts.
We'll get back with you.
Yeah, it's fine.
So this is the 2023 annual report for the Veteran Service Office. Let's see. Get my glasses on. So we filed a total of 2,575 claims that include service-connected disability, veterans pension, widow pension, county burial and headstone requests, property tax discounts, VA healthcare, CHAMP VA, records requests for documents, and IDVA educational and state benefits. We had a total of 5,447 phone calls. That was 2,824 incoming phone calls and 2,623 outgoing phone calls. We had a total of 2,477 appointments. We had 796 walk-in or appointments on our calendar. We had 1,533 walk-in appointments. And I had 148 out-of-office appointments, which are my home visits. Our veteran transportation, they had 278 trips, total for last year. That is between the VA hospital, all of the clinics, as well as local appointments for our veterans. The CBSO, we continue to grow our efforts in community outreach, hosting veteran benefit speeches, seminars, and informational discussions in the community, including Thornton Terrace, Jewel Place, River Terrace, WRX radio show, as well as out of our office. I was reelected the vice chair of our Veterans Council. I also sat on the advisory board for River Terrace and Thornton Terrace. I was reelected service officer for our American Legion post. Completed my national CBSO training and have maintained my accreditation through IDVA and the American Legion. Our office is continuing to grow our community veteran outreach program through, again, our sympathy cards and Christmas card campaigns, as well as visiting our veterans in our local nursing homes. We are still continuing with the banner program. In fact, we have 30 polls left for banners. So if you know of any veterans or families of veterans that would like one, have them reach out to our office. I was also reelected the financial officer for the Indiana CVSO Association. We still have our VA Video Connect hub in our office, and it's continuing to be utilized. I hired a part-time CVSO last year, and she was made full-time this year. So we now have 2 full-time county service officers out of our office. Financial report for annual compensation. And again, this is just going off of the award letters that our veterans bring into us. We had over $1,162,362.62 in annual compensation. We had $1,047,138.62 in retroactive payments. County burials, we had $19,200. And so for a total amount of $2,228,701.24. We also, we did 90 property tax abatements for service-connected veterans in 2023. Jefferson County Veteran Service Officer continues to play a key role in shaping office efficiency, accuracy, and personalized service to our community's veterans, dependents, as well as equally positive financial results for our veterans and their families. The CVSO is proud to have Jefferson County be a leader in the state in knowledge, numbers, and services. I'm grateful to our county government for the support you provide to our office and our goals and efforts. And we look forward to maintaining this commitment and expanding our services to best meet the needs of the area veterans we serve. Our goal for this year is to do more community outreach, getting our faces out in the public and just presenting more awareness. WRX, the first Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m., they have Veterans Talk. Joe DeVito started that radio program. He has now turned that over to me fully. So I'm continuing on with that. And again, that's just a chance for us to go on the radio, talk about the services our office provides, things that are happening within the community that's veteran related, and any updates regarding legislation for our veterans. And again, just local things that are happening. So that's all I've got.
On your visits to local nursing homes?
Yeah.
Do you have like set times you do that, or just whenever?
So we try and get out to the nursing homes at least once a quarter to visit all of our veterans. When we bring them, cards and gift bags. And what we do is we contact all of the nursing homes and we set up times to get in there, and then they usually have a representative that will take us around to each of the rooms.
Do you use some volunteers to help out?
We may this year. We do have a lot of veterans in the nursing homes. So if you guys are looking to help us out, that would be phenomenal.
Sure, I think we would, but I think also some.
A lot of what we've come to find out, and this is why we try and do this once a quarter, is we do have a lot of veterans in the nursing homes, and a lot of them don't have families or friends.
Yep.
And we're literally the only ones that come see them. So we try and really make an effort to do that. And I know the other veteran organizations within the county do that as well for birthdays and holidays. So
We have a number of veterans that work at the Carrollton site that are, we've talked about trying to go to Elizabethtown because close to Fort Knox, they have one there, but it's hard to kind of arrange that, especially for guys up here. So, but we have a number of guys that work
So
there
if
that
you
live
have
here.
folks that wanna volunteer, I can absolutely contact you when we
You
get
just-
ready to set up our next visit.
Sure, let us know those
And,
times.
yeah,
work those
we
in.
make, kind of make it's almost a full day of, because we try and do it all in one day, so we're not out of the office
Sure.
too much. So we just make a day of it and, it goes by fairly quickly once you finally get in there. Thornton Terrace, River Terrace, some of the bigger ones have a lot more veterans in there,
Sure.
so.
You accept help from public?
Hmm?
You accept help from the public?
Absolutely.
What time is the quarter, if you don't mind me asking, I hope you guys don't mind me, what quarter, when you guys go talk to these folks, about what time is it?
It just depends. We usually start off about 9 o'clock in the morning and just,
About what, like month or?
so probably next month or April, we'll try and get in there. Okay,
Yes, you just have some tentative dates, let us know.
okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Me?
Sure. You're next.
All right, I
So,
think,
yeah.
you just hear on an update from Arlie on the property out of Kent. Here's some pictures he sent me today. Arlie, if you want to come up and talk to him about it.
The,
Copy for you if you want that. Got a picture of them.
top photo. Okay, I'm missing one of those in the show.
There's some on the
Actually-
back. 5 pictures total, right?
Not this.
Hmm?
Oh. Okay, sorry. The very top photo is actually where the house, the main house. Just about 85–90% of it is gone. All that was kind of like, well, here, there's mainly a lot of dirt. And I couldn't get it with, the bulldozer very well with that. And then on the other side is where the other house burnt down too. I got a lot of it done. The big thing was the bulldozer. I had it, and the reason I got the bulldozer is so I didn't break it all up to get it, to pick it up a lot easier, because I tried to get it with a Bobcat and they were just trying to pick up the entire house. And they just kept on bringing the Bobcat up, so. I felt like it was almost like wasting money, but, it really wasn't, but part of it done. Now, I was wishing to get a whole lot more done, but it was
You
extremely
just,
wet.
like we said last time, we wanted you to come and show us that you're making some progress. We'd like to have it done as soon as you can, but I mean, you feel like he's making some progress?
I'm curious, have you hauled anything off at all from
No,
there?
not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
It's you just get it pushed over in a
Mhm.
pile where you can.
Yeah. Basically, I broke it
Broke
all up so I can actually put it into a, cause I didn't want to put the dumpster down and the equipment without it being broke up. Cause when I have
There's
it
not a
there,
whole lot of room to work before you started cleaning it up anywhere, pushing it up, so.
yeah, it was just scattered so much across the truck is there, I'm gonna get dumpsters too, so. The truck is to assist as well. And I got the truck really cheap, so I'm gonna be using gravel and stuff like that, but mainly it's kind of help with the trash. But I'm using dumpsters for most of it.
So, I mean, do you have I don't think we're gonna hold you to an exact date, but some time frame about when you think you'll have it cleaned up?
Oh.
I mean, so are you
I
gonna,
would say probably late March. The late.
I mean,
So
I think that's, I was earlier than I was thinking, so that's,
I hope,
Weather permitting.
yeah, I mean, that's gonna.
that's what kind of got me this month was the weather.
Sure.
Cause what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get on the weekends, cause my health is not the best, so my energy levels kind of suck. So I try to do it so I can split up between 2 days. So I do it on the weekends and it just seemed like I just couldn't catch a break. But yeah,
So what, I know you said the bulldozer was good to break it up, but what are you're gonna use a Bobcat then to
Yeah.
just pick it up and put it in?
yeah, I'm gonna have the Bobcat scoop
Sure.
with
Okay.
the grappler.
Bucket and thing.
We've actually got a meeting with a couple guys wanting to talk about possibly going out there and helping.
Helping out?
Next week also,
Okay,
so I don't really wanna bring a lot of that until I actually know something about
Oh, yeah.
it, so
that's fine. So,
Wow.
we'll see where that goes to.
sure, well, I think there are some, I mean, I know that some people have talked to me, they're willing to help, so if we can bring that together to help you out, I think that's gonna make things move quicker for you,
Very,
and
very gracious for that.
so,
Yeah, cause right now it's just me. I could hire somebody, the only problem is it's
like I said,
way up there.
sure, I mean, like I said, we wanted to make sure things were gonna progress, we asked you to come back in February, here you are, that's and in these cases, that's a good sign in and of itself, because we've had some people just not.
I gotta say, I appreciate him kind of reminding me as well, so.
Mhm.
You've been
He's
helping
good, he's
out.
good at that. Sometimes people take those reminders and sometimes people don't, like we said, so, okay, well, I mean, so do you think, I mean, is it the first meeting in April, just, meet again and I mean, is that okay? I mean, that gives them a little bit of
I
time
think
and
that's,
you'll know more, I mean, if you find
see
out,
what kind of progress is happening
yeah,
and keep going from there.
Get help might be a lot quicker too, so.
but,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
so, yeah, if you wanna come back early and say we've got it finished, that would be great too, but,
I'd love to be able to do that. I really
well,
would.
but just if you can come back in April.
First meeting in April.
Yeah, we'll do that. I mean, I think that's when we kind of set initially, when we
Unless
talk,
Mhm.
unless you really get along well and something.
yeah, oh, yeah, not, that would not be, you could come earlier if you wish, and that would be, if you wanted to continue to show pictures and,
It'd be awesome if I come in, meeting in March and say, hey, here's the
Mhm.
pictures.
sure, and they'll be all gone, yeah, but once again, you're making progress, that's what we want to see, and that's, people around you, that's what they want to see too, because those people that call us, they see things set, nothing happening, and so they're like, okay.
I can understand it. That's
Sure.
fair.
So we just appreciate you starting to make progress, and,
I've actually got the funds to be able to do so.
okay, well,
Good deal.
Thank you,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
thank you.
Well, have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Yep.
Are you waiting on somebody?
Oh, no, we have several, we're gonna, so, you wanna go first, Brian?
I don't have anything.
Oh.
I'm good.
Okay,
You're just listening?
I'm just taking it all in.
just taking it all in.
As you can see, here's what I've been waiting for. Let's see, sit a little further away this time. I'm a little excited about this moment. All right, well, we've done some training. We just finished some stuff up today and we got some more coming up. Also had, let's see, Heather signed the MPG grant, so it should be coming out sometime soon, as I keep pestering this guy, David up there at the office, making sure that I'm not missing something, and during this email switch over, stuff like that, I was horrified it was gonna come through, and,
You wouldn't see it.
like that, so, yeah, he assures me that he'll make sure that he gets this all squared away, so we're in good shape. I did get the energy grant turned in for the Hanover building, and the County Highway Garage, been good working with Bobby on that project, it's been a good time, so hopefully that'll come through for us, we can insulate the buildings and save some money that way. Let's see, here our communication plan for the eclipse is just about done. Amanda came down from Ipswich, she was here, was it Brandon, was it 2 weeks ago, maybe? And came down to help us sort some things out of that business, and she's got some questions, she's gonna come back and take a look at the console and then some other equipment that we have in the back there to see if we'll be able to do a couple of other things, just to put in the plan that may potentially could be helpful and also even helpful down the road if we have some other problems later on. It took a bit to find the vendor that we used and we bought our radios from. But I do have all the radio like programming maps now from everyone who's bought them from that company. So the original vendor that we used got bought out by the company they combined, so. Took a bit to find them and run it all down, but we actually have the radio maps now, so that so we have that information, we'll be starting from scratch if we do, well, at some point we'll be buying more radios and things like that. Brandon's been great to work with that, he answered some great questions during the meeting, and stuff that I just didn't know. So he's been great to work with, in that regard as well. County Fire Chiefs meeting. We talked about the eclipse plan a little bit, communication plan a little bit. And then those guys, I've asked them to, in their districts, to look for some like predetermined rescues, like places where we can get ambulances to, or we might not be able to get them deep enough into. And or if there's lots of fields that people got the cars parked out there, stuff like that, they're about to go drive an ambulance out there, a bunch of cars and a mass take to get out there. So we got a
I'll
little.
take it.
Well, there are some people-
There will be people, you know.
Yes, well, there's a guy in Decatur County, he's got his field like sectioned off, he's got like food trucks lined up and all that stuff, so. I hope he's got records if it rains, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All for darkness during the day.
Yeah, no, they got, for like 4 minutes, it's like,
Hey,
seems like a little bit of
great.
trouble. Met with, IDHS today, they came down to us to talk about our local, emergency planning committee. The former person in charge of that has resigned as of the last meeting. And there's been a couple meetings prior to that that they didn't have a quorum for, so we're a little behind in some paperwork. I think we got some things caught up today. And they're looking for a couple more pieces to plug into this thing. And hopefully we can figure out how to bridge the gap between maybe some virtual sessions and some live sessions all the same to make sure we're getting those meetings and getting forums so we can get some things accomplished and get them done. I have talked with the hospital a little bit about doing some training out there, with their, hazardous materials, decon stuff there at the hospital. I think it's been several years since they've got that out and set that up and make sure that everything was gonna be okay. And in reality, if something does happen, whether we're able to capture most people, at any kind of hazmat incident or not, there's gonna be people that's gonna show up at hospital, things like that, they're gonna be exposed, so. So we gotta make sure that they're ready to take care of business that way. I got talked with the mitigation people today. We've got a BRIC direct technical assistance request form, and that's gonna go straight to FEMA. So we're gonna try to loop them in on that whole Cricket Creek project. And then see if we can get some kind of assistance for that, because I think the city, they said they've dumped a bunch of money into it. I'm sure we've dumped some money into that a lot bit. So. When originally they approached us about doing some mitigation grant, because they had some BRIC money left over for this past year. Pretty small projects and the money that they had, where it wasn't really gonna go very far, so I think the best bet's for us to take some assistance from them. And work with the Corps of Engineers and people like that to kind of put together good plans, filter through some of that data that they probably have a lot better expertise and filtering through than what anybody here probably does, so. I mentioned that a while ago, EPSIC will be here again, they're gonna take a look at the console over there and inspect some of the equipment in the back. Meeting with DuPont Water next week, we're gonna discuss the water system infrastructure. Because the battery farm project it's just continuing to progress, so we want to get ready for that. Talk to a couple other people around us about, some of their plans and a lot bit where some of those decisions have gotten made, about what their plan may be. I'm not sure the timeline on all those things, so we'll see how that shakes out and what their experience has been. Working on putting together a phase 2 radio evaluation team. It's getting ready to upgrade the system, like the statewide system. It's probably a 2-3 year project, 1 to 3 year project probably. But we're gonna start looking at technology, things like that. I know that they're even putting SIM cards and radios now where they can pick up some Wi-Fi signal. They can use cellular towers, and or Wi-Fi signal like in the hospital or in the school, for instance, like that, for people who are out radios and might not really get out. They can hook into that Wi-Fi system and increase their radio capabilities. And just want to look at some technology too, to make sure that we're getting the right tool for the right job and the best tool for the area and all that bit. I guess maybe kind of point of pride about the building and emergency operations center is Marion County. Their emergency manager called down. He wants to come take a tour of our facility and take a look at our EOC. So I sent him a couple pictures and he's like, yeah, we'll be down and check it out. So I guess pretty cool little pat on the back for us. So, or not, that's all I got.
We think it's good, but when people start doing that, you're like, okay, yeah, it is good.
Yes, yeah, it's nice.
to know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Sure.
get some recognition outside of here, especially for a place like that, their budget's a lot bigger.
You think?
So, Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll go next.
Oh,
Am I allowed?
sure, we had a couple other kind of guys we're gonna talk, but if you wanna go, you
Sure.
can, we'll let you go and.
Well, I asked this gentleman about where he was from. He said the 911 system. There was an incident on January 23rd of this year, about 6:30 in the morning. A young lady hit a sheet of ice and hit her car in the creek. I was unable to contact 911. That's unacceptable. The very next day, water came up. And it just made me think that that little girl could have lost her life because I couldn't get hold of nobody. I'm sorry. And I just don't want it to happen to anyone else. There's no reason today why we cannot reach 911, no matter where we are. No matter where we are, we should be able to contact 911. That little girl had flipped her car and luckily she made it out. And I caught her in the darkness. She was scared to death to even get in the car with me. Because nowadays you don't know who you're getting in the car with. You didn't know if she could trust me. And I just want to fix whatever is wrong. I'm not gonna place any blame on anybody. If there's an issue, we gotta find it, we gotta fix it. I
What,
have a lot of loved ones that travel that road.
what did you get? A ring, no answer, or didn't set
No,
up the ring, or
well, I'm
what'd
gonna
you
tell
get?
you, I contacted the sheriff's office and it said that the office was closed, that this is an emergency, hang up, dial 911. I did so. On my phone, I was like, why isn't it ringing? And it just said, you are calling from, and it showed my phone number. And I done it like 3 times, so I don't know where the issue lies, but that's got to be fixed. I mean, we live in a time now where everything should, technology is amazing today. And there's no reason why we couldn't contact 911.
But by you getting that back, it's almost like it didn't go out.
I am, okay, I contacted.
I'm not arguing with you.
I know
I'm
you're
just
not
saying,
being, I'm
I
not,
would have thought you'd have got a ring or a busy or just dead air. But it came back and brought a message up and said,
you are calling from, my phone number.
that's almost like the tower didn't route it.
So I contacted, I'm actually working with Verizon right now to figure out where this issue lies.
That's what I was wondering, I mean, with.
Yes, they
With,
said give them a week. So, you know, we've been about there and actually they're supposed to call me this evening. But like I said, it was just very nerve wracking. Brandon Tucker, are you Brandon? Brandon, thank you for calling me. I believe I spoke with you and you said the issue did not lie within the 911 system, that it could be Verizon.
Sure.
The issue is why could I call out to the sheriff's department? Why could I contact my neighbor to get, I think his name is Ryan Harrison? Are you familiar with that police officer? Okay. He was at my house within 5 to 8 minutes to help. And that's only because a friend of mine, it's his neighbor. That's the only way I could get help to this young lady. But I could call everywhere else. Why couldn't I dial 911?
I think 911 takes a different route. I may be totally wrong on that, but
Does it? Brandon?
Looking for towers.
It's not
You're
like-
not gonna get a direct line.
it's not like a
It's
standard call, is it, Matt?
No, no.
Okay, so,
Like when you call out or somebody calls you, they overlap and run the same path, so to speak.
my-
911's like its own entity.
so my question to you then, if that ever arises again, who would I contact? I'm not gonna be able to contact 911?
Well, to be honest with you, there's no perfect answer, right? I mean, at the end of the day, systems fail, equipment doesn't work, phone signals aren't the greatest. I'd like to be able to give you a great answer and say that it will never happen again, but unfortunately. There's plenty of places where police officers have pulled people over in rural parts of the county where the radios won't reach out to anybody and that's a pretty dangerous spot to be in and
Yeah.
all that, so your radio doesn't get out, your phone doesn't get out, there's lots of places that are like that, so it certainly isn't. And anything that's just completely out of the ordinary to be out of contact in this county because because of the terrain that we live in.
Mine used to be one of them.
So we do have the, of course, you have to enter a password, but we do have the, fiber optic. That's how the young lady was able, that's how I was able to contact my neighbors. We don't have a home phone anymore.
So through.
Nobody does.
So through Wi-Fi, you were able to, is that how you, I mean, is that what you're saying? You got onto like a wireless network and then?
We have fiber optic at my home. So I picked the young lady up and took her back to my house. I contacted the sheriff's office, you know.
Yeah,
they're
I'm just,
closed.
yeah, but I mean, so when you, our phones will switch from cell towers to a Wi-Fi and then use the internet.
So I do have Wi-Fi, yes.
I just wondered, was that,
Yes,
is that how
yes.
you made the call?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
we're just trying to understand what
So
we,
would that make a difference as well as far as the 911? I mean, if I'm using the Wi-Fi?
So I spoke with them digital. They advised that there was no interruption of 911 services during that time frame.
Okay,
And they reached out to Verizon, and we provided them with your phone number. They believe it was a device issue. That's what they've advised us.
okay, they actually, I am working with them now.
Sure.
They are supposed to get back with me. Because like I said, the time that we live in today, this is just unacceptable. The very next day, the water come up in the creek. If the little girl didn't make it out, she'd drown.
I'll continue to work with you on that, but
I appreciate it.
whatever you need with Verizon. But there was no interruption with 911 services.
May I give you a suggestion?
Yes, please.
You said you were able to call out, so you had signal some way somehow. I have in my phone central dispatch, and every time, I've saved in there, every time I've called them day or night, I've been able to reach somebody. I
So,
called them before I called 911 anyway.
so if you are able to contact someone else other than the sheriff's
I
department,
always been able to contact somebody.
So is
central
it-
dispatch.
I mean, not, if, once again, if you were calling through the Wi-Fi, that would go through your fiber and you wouldn't have to worry about
Yeah,
hitting the
but it
tower.
reach everyone
So,
else,
I mean,
so-
that may be a solution for now. I mean, I think we need to look at it because we do run into those issues, like they were saying. I mean, you got so many
I
hills
didn't
and,
know that there was such a thing.
Yeah,
I didn't
there's
know
somebody
that.
answering the phone.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
that.
don't know that you can make a phone call, a 911 call on a phone that's hooked into the Wi-Fi.
no, I wouldn't think you could dial 911, but if you've got
So
that
you think
number.
that's the issue? You
Do you
think
want the
them-
number?
Yes, absolutely I
Oh,
do.
thank you very much.
Yes, I thank you for that.
And there is like a phone free answering machine at the sheriff's office. That way there's somebody not answering the phone 24/7. And these are completely separate offices now, so I know that maybe.
Anybody?
Yeah, yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah, they are. thank you. Yeah, I didn't even know that there was such a thing. Where's the?
So it's always good. I don't know.
I mean, it's not to say that we'll just table this thing for now, but we'll look into it. I think we need to know where you're located so we can. Cause you know, we need to work with Verizon and say, all right, there are some areas, and we
Yeah,
know that.
actually, I am too. to me,
But,
you
sure,
know,
but I
that's-
mean, but
To me,
still
that's
that,
unacceptable.
sure, that might help you, but your neighbor, maybe not so much. So I
There's a
mean,
lot of loved ones on that road. It's very narrow. It doesn't get cleaned well, which I know, you know, there's a lot of roads that need to be cleaned. There's main roads that need it first. I get that. Sun doesn't beat down on the roads. There's ice everywhere, you know, and I just want to fix the problem.
Did you just try it one time, the
No,
911?
I dialed
And you
out.
kept getting that response you're calling?
Same response.
That's what flags me that it wasn't over here. If that wording come up on your phone,
So
It
I
is-
live on the Jefferson County, Switzerland County line. You can actually stand on my front porch and see the sign, county line sign. So, I mean, I am towards the river. I'm close to the river.
Mhm.
So yes, I thought maybe it would shoot to Kentucky, but I would think that no one ever called me back. 911 should be a national thing. I would-
well, if it never made the connection, there wouldn't,
yeah, they
it wouldn't be
know
like,
called.
I hear them all the time say, we had to hang up 911. And they can't reach, you know, the party that called, or then they'll do a check.
Yeah,
They never got that. See
because
what
it
I'm
never
saying?
went through.
You never had any connection for anybody to answer and say, what's your problem or what's your emergency? That's what seems funny to me that you kept getting that repeated, like it
Yes.
was locked into a mode that. wouldn't let
Yeah,
you
it
out.
was just,
Mhm.
it was weird how it happened. I was like, it's not ringing through, you know?
Right,
So, and I looked at my phone and it said, you were calling from, and it showed my phone number. And I was like, that is so odd.
Mhm.
So then I got a hold of my neighbor, which got a hold of Ryan, and he was there within 5 to 8 minutes. I mean, he was very quick, very prompt. Well, actually, we got him up out of bed. It was 6:30 in the morning, you know?
Wow, he's there in 5 minutes. Good.
So, I mean, I
So,
didn't know where to start at to make sure that, and I
Well,
thought
you-
this was it.
sure, you find out what Verizon says and let us know, and then we'll try to get,
I will, and-
map out where.
Brandon, I got your number. So I appreciate y'all listening to me. I really do.
Thanks for coming
Is
in.
Sarah in here? Are you Sarah? Thank you, Sarah. You're a sweetheart. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
she is.
Yes, she is.
Want to tell us, too?
Yeah. No.
So, relatively no issues at 911, operating relatively smoothly. We posted job positions on January 23rd. To this date, we've had 95 applications. We held interviews yesterday. We had 3 pretty good candidates. We're looking for another one. We're gonna review a little bit further. So if we get 4, we'll only be a short one person. Other than that, that's all I have. Questions?
Appreciate it. Thank you, what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know things are going on too. Bobby?
Make sure there's not another one.
We can look.
He's up there already. Nothing major this time, so thankful for some nice weather, helping us kind of move things along. It's definitely pothole season. They grew really, really fast. We're trying to fill those up and deal with those as quickly as we can, along with putting in culverts and taking care of our tree trimming and all the other good things. Luckily, one of the roads did grade up a little bit better than what I would have ever anticipated it, so I know that was kind of a last ditch effort to get things moved along down there. So, the biggest thing that's came on my radar here lately is I was invited to a safety technical assistance with LTAP and Federal Highway. I don't know what that's gonna entail, so they're supposed to have a kickoff, and I'll know a little bit more about it later, but anything that we can do to improve the safety of our roads here in Jefferson County and response time, that'll always be time well spent. So,
I would imagine they'd ask several to participate, so getting ideas from other folks is always a good idea, better, easier to, than coming up with your own sometimes.
yeah,
They may have come up with something because of a certain situation, so.
yeah, that's the
deal.
advice I got when I got this job, was don't reinvent the wheel. Somebody's probably had that problem somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I do ask lots of questions that a lot of folks have been around the rodeo a few more times than me, so always very helpful. So, you guys have any questions for me? Yes.
I do. The trash site pickup at Chelsea.
Yes.
Okay, we're probably lucky we haven't had a bad accident down there because they get stacked up. But anyway, make a long story short, Monday they almost had one. It was narrowly avoided. And I won't say who, but anyway. Is there something you can think of? Like a light, a flashing light that we could use? We could probably put up signs, but I don't think signs would get the attention as a flashing light. Do you?
For what, I don't know what the incident was, what light am I gonna?
Well, a person pulled out in front of a car coming south on 62, so.
They,
and
I don't
that-
think the state's gonna let me put any signs up on their.
Okay,
state
let
road.
me ask you this, could we have signs that the trash pickup driver carries that he could set out?
Possible.
I mean, could
I
we,
can find out.
Like maybe on our plastic barricades and then raise it up so it's, you know,
Yeah, I do know anything that's gonna be placed on State Road 62 is gonna have to be a minimum of 48 inches. It's gonna have to be a minimum of 1 foot off the ground, and I wanna say you probably almost have to set that up like a work zone and have the signs starting about 1,500 feet away from it. If it's gonna be like a work zone, then I don't know that they'll go for that, since it's not technically a work zone,
Right.
it's just a trash drop off.
were they coming out of the parking lot onto 62, or were they trying to come off the
they
road?
had been to the trash site and then was going back across. Going.
This one, you could just,
you
but it
know,
sounded,
it
I was
was-
gonna say something at the entrance on the trash site that they didn't go back out there, but it sounds like they're going out the road anyway, so that's not, that wouldn't happen.
Cause I know we put those signs up when we put the traffic light up on 421, remember there, at Hutchison Lane? Before, on both sides, flashing signal ahead, so when it was all brand new, people didn't just run up there and run through it. I didn't know if we could do something like anything. Cause I don't think people pay a lot of attention to a sign like that, do you, like you
I
put,
can tell you with all the fiber going in on multiple state roads and all the places that I've been lately, people aren't even slowing down for the signs.
Mhm.
Hoping somebody on these utility sites don't get hit. Their signs aren't quite adequate, but they're not for my enforcement on the state roads, so they hear from me on my county roads, but I don't have near the volume of traffic or near the speed of traffic that they have on the state roads. I'll see if I can find out something in a similar scenario.
yeah, cause it wouldn't be considered a work zone, cause it only goes on 4 hours a day, so.
Right, I don't know, maybe even, having a patrol car parked there nearby, so might slow things down as much as anything and have some appearance. And I know they do a lot too. I know they've been very busy too,
Mhm, yeah.
but I'm just trying, that's just a quick idea I had off the top of my head.
You know, give it some thought and see if you can think of anything. So we can be proactive instead of, we knew that was gonna happen, so. Okay.
Definitely will.
Speaking of signs, the one there at the park and ride, are you, okay?
Yep,
Thank you.
I may go take that down myself tomorrow. I started to before, but I didn't have the wrenches and I couldn't get both the pumps out of the ground. I did take one, got rid of it, said, this ain't working, so let's come back with a plan B, so. So yeah, we'll get those down.
Thanks.
Very good, thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thanks.
Anybody in the public? Sure.
Is there a commissioner named Dave in here? You're Dave.
I'm
Okay,
Dave.
this might pertain to you. My
Okay.
name is Adam Artis, and I live out on Grange Hall Road. And to give you a better idea of where I live, if you go down Interstate Block Road, it's right at the end of the runway. Well, I've been living there for about a little over 10 years, and my closest neighbor is probably about 2 football fields away. Well, I like to listen to my music pretty loud. I have a nice stereo in my living room with the doors closed, the windows closed. You may be able to hear it outside, but you know, it's not gonna rattle your windows, okay? So the reason why I'm here is because a couple of weeks ago, the police were called and they were dispatched to my house for loud music. Being close to the airport, I have done a lot of dealings with the airport. I've had a lot of meetings just like this that take minutes, you know, on their aviation board. And they're the ones that informed me that there is no noise ordinance out there. People have tried to sue them for the helicopters that are so loud and things, and they just couldn't sue them because there's no noise ordinance out there, or so I thought. So everything was copacetic. I turned the music down. I haven't had anybody call the neighbors on me. So I started looking at the statutes. And I started looking for things online. And what I hold in my hand here is probably nothing that pertains to me. But it's chapter 95, the noise. And it really talks a lot about quiet areas. And it talks a lot about quiet areas being close to the hospital downtown, which I think this is old and outdated because of the addresses in the quiet areas that are on here. The hospital is no longer there anymore.
Is that excuse me, is that a city ordinance?
I don't know.
So,
I looked up Jefferson County and this was for Madison. And
Yeah,
this
so-
pretty much pertains to downtown
Yeah,
Madison.
so theirs would not pertain to the outside of the city.
City limits.
Right.
So-
And so, I went to the, city hall and I talked to them about it, told them what my issue was. And, they sent me to the courthouse. Then went to the courthouse and they said, you need to go talk to the commissioners, go to one of their meetings, and that probably, most likely, Dave is over your area. Cause I gave them a roundabout idea of where I lived anyway. So I'm not trying to be a jerk.
No.
I'm not trying to
We're not
disturb
thinking
my
that.
neighbors or be rude. That's not the reason. I just like listening to loud music. And, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like having the cops at my house. You know, it's embarrassing for people to drive by and see cops at my house. So what I wanted to get down to the bottom to and just ask, is there a noise ordinance in that area? If there is, what
No.
is it?
We tried that last year and that didn't, we met some resistance. So no, we don't have a noise ordinance.
I like to hear that, but somehow I'm gonna have to relay to, the same people I was just talking about, 911 or the dispatch, central dispatch, and let them know that when the neighbors call, tell them we're not sending a cop out there. They're not gonna do anything to it. So I don't know how else to solve the issue.
Have you talked to your neighbor?
No, I don't know who, the cops don't tell you who called on you, because they don't wanna, make any
Sure.
trouble, any future trouble, and I understand that. But with all this that was said and how they used to handle it by checking the DBA measurements, and, they would do it with 200 feet away from the house with the windows and doors closed. There were exclusions here, like bars, the sound, should be, if it increases, occurring while persons enter and exit a business or commercial operation in the normal course of business, it doesn't constitute a violation of the DBA levels. So I thought if there was one, somebody needs to come out here and check that and make sure I'm in the clear. I'm just trying to cover my butt.
Sure.
I don't want to be fined.
Once again, well, that's the cities, and we don't have one in the county. I mean, I don't know why, well, people just decide it's time to call the police and that's how they do it. It's hard to tell the 911 guys to make the determination. I've heard sometimes they will decide or at least say, there isn't a NORS ordinance, so it really is not gonna, the officer coming out to your house has nothing he can ask you.
Just
But-
requested.
Yeah.
And I was
that's-
respectful to them too, and they were to me as well, but I wasn't blowing up Tanner right there, and he was nice about it, and all he had to say to me, because he probably knew there was no ordinance, was that a neighbor called. And, that when I pulled up to your house, I could hear the music on the outside, but it wasn't that loud. Now, if the bass was hitting, you might have rattled your neighbor's windows, and that's why they called. But I've been there for a little over 10 years and never had the cops called on me till now, and you guys were the people that I needed to speak to. So from here on out, can you guide me to somebody that I could talk to who can put an end to that and let them know we're not sending an officer out and wasting time and money on a ridiculous call from somebody who may be disgruntled, maybe I pissed them off, I don't know. But it's never happened before.
Sure. I don't know that we can promise that we can tell someone not to go out, but I mean, I was gonna say, you find out who your neighbor is and have you go talk to him, but, I mean, I don't know what
I mean, the officer, he could have drove to the end of your driveway and, hey, that's not bothering anybody, and made his report and rolled on.
That is true. The two neighbors that live closest to me, they are the type of people that would knock on my door, catch me at my mailboxes. We're close by at the mailboxes, and they would tell me, hey man, you've been playing the music way too loud. Would you please keep it down, especially after midnight? The cops were there at 12:15, just to let you guys know. It was a little bit after midnight, and, me being where I'm at, I didn't think I was bothering anybody, and I'm really not trying to bother anybody. I'm just trying to cover my butt. So thanks for hearing me out and giving me the answer that I was looking for. Hope you guys have a good night.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you.
Anybody else? You?
After the meeting is.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I got just real quick history. Years ago, when the county had to assign a defender, an attorney
Public defense.
or a defender,
Mhm.
the county picked up all the tab. And, I believe it was 16 or 17, I found out that there was a program that we could subscribe to and go through the state and set it up. So I worked with Hensley and, Auxer, and we did this. And I believe it was 15, 16 anyway. So I'm happy to report that we had our first meeting this year. And, we received over $300,000 from the state last year for public defender board appointees. And we were $10,000 under budget, and Devin Sharp manages that, and he does a commendable job, but we probably received well over $1 million the last 5 or 6 years from that public defender board. So that goes into the general fund, which I know the council will be happy for that. So just, some good news for a change.
Sure. I mean, is it What percent?
40%.
40% we get
Yeah,
back?
and they're trying to pick up misdemeanors now, which will help be even more, so. But 40% of something is a lot
Sure.
better than nothing, so.
Okay.
Like I say, some good news for a change. That's all I got.
We gave a presentation, or I did, but it's for us. We gave a presentation to the IEDC last Tuesday at River Ridge, just to tell them about the projects that were, have put in and, Ready 2.0. So that went pretty well. It's good to meet some people on the board, and it's interesting in this application. I think last time the RDA submitted individual projects as part of their portfolio to apply for these. And now they have some goals or strategies that they're trying to, the IEDC has said, these are things you should look at. And so they're trying to find reply with those kinds of strategies. And now they can have some projects that kind of meet those strategies, but you don't have to list them all. So I think it's interesting. There's a little more flexibility in the projects that are going to go forward out of Ready 2.0 as opposed to Ready 1. So, I mean, they mentioned they're going to try to provide funding to those that didn't, at least the RDA said that, provide funding that those didn't get any in Ready the first round. So, and I think the campground, the new animal shelter, and the upgrade or the rehab to the Rikers Ridge Sewer District are all good projects. So anyway, it went pretty well.
Hopefully we'll grab one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. So, don't have anything else. No, you got anything?
I'd make a motion.
Oh, do you guys have anything? Sorry.
Slow down on the motion.
All right.
Go for
Speed back up.
Now you can go.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
it. I second that motion.
All those in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you all.